Hi there, welcome to our practice course, How to Build a Smart Chatbot. In this course, we're going to use webapi-ai service that is based on GPT-3 engine. So let's take a look at traditional chatbots. The traditional chatbots, they're difficult to build, they're time-consuming, they have complex structures, and they overwhelm the user with tons of unnecessary questions. That's why the companies are reluctant to use these bulky conventional chatbot services. And what's even worse, the clients are frustrated with bots, and that's why they're eager to switch to a human manager. Now, if we think about for a moment how we humans learn and master a skill like a customer service, in our case, we need a familiarity with the subject matter, some sets of guidelines, and maybe some sample dialects to and how to respond. Now, at the webapi-ai, we believe that the same learning pattern should be used in building chatbot services. So you can think of your AI chatbot builder as if it were your new employee. So you can give free-form instructions, provide some sample dialogue scenarios to teach an AI chatbot builder. Now, before I go to the structure of the course and so on, let me introduce our team and who stands behind this service. We do have some 7 members, research members, and the proprietary AI Labs team's solution, the Transformer solution, is now currently ranked 16th on a Superglue leaderboard. You can check it out if you want to. And moreover, the company's intent recognition AI has outperformed the dialog flow. Now, if we think about the business side of our team, we have served top 20 commercial entities, regional commercial entities, as well as that caption called the American company. Now, who is this course for? The first one, IT specialists and freelancers, the marketing specialists, the support teams. And by the way, you don't need any coding skills to start and build your own chatbot. Now, the service of webapi-ai fit a wide range of B2C businesses, as well as works excellent as an internal enterprise solution. Now, by the end of this course, we aim our students to be able to build your own chatbot in less than an hour with no coding, integrating with your channels such as web widget, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, or WhatsApp. We have also created ready-to-use templates for you, such as application form, the FAQ builder, and so on. And we also have integrated our service with popular services such as Stripe Payment Link and Zendesk and Calendly. Now, the course content consists of 5 main sections. The first one is we're gonna dive into the domain knowledge and show how to teach the AI. It's very to use and quite straightforward. We're gonna give the mock dialog examples and go to the dialog scenarios. And in other words, we're gonna give some examples to AI to show how to respond in these or different cases and examples. As well as slots and actions is about how to integrate the company's API, if you have any, to our service. Then channels of communication such as Facebook, Messenger, web widget, and so on will also be shown. And lastly, we're going to practice and practice and practice and show our templates and cases. So the first thing that you need to do is to register on the website www.webapi-ai and press get a free trial. And when you register, enter your email address and use AI Geek as a code, and you will get $30 of credit or 1,000 of actions and responses from a smart AI will be granted for you. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, in this tutorial, we'll explain the domain knowledge. Now, in most of the cases, the dialog scenarios aren't just enough. You may run a few mock dialects and then let the AI to learn from it. And it works well when the tasks are quite simple and straightforward, like collecting some data, like collecting some information about the users. And in the previous example, we've given the example with the tournament. But in most of the cases, users are seeking for more complex information, for more complex data. So that's why you can't just create a lot of dialect scenarios, but instead we will use the domain knowledge. The domain knowledge is a knowledge and instructions that help AI to understand the task, to process it, and therefore minimize the dialect samples, the dialect scenarios. You can't just have hundreds and hundreds of dialect scenarios, but instead you can use the domain knowledge. Now, if you do remember from the previous example, the valid email address. Now, when I tried to enter the invalid email address, it actually showed that it's not valid. Can you please provide the valid one? And this is actually where it came from the domain knowledge. In that particular example, the instruction was given to accept only valid email address. Now, you shouldn't underestimate the ability of the AI. You can think of AI as a human being. So when you want a human being, your manager of a call center, to process some information, you actually provide some information, the data, the knowledge, so that when the call center manager responds to the user, it actually relies on that particular knowledge. And this is the place where that knowledge is actually secured and stored. Now let's give an instruction. Let's say that any question that is beyond that FAQ shouldn't be answered. So we will use some FAQ. Every organization has FAQ, and we're going to use these FAQs. Okay, so this is just a sample of FAQ. Okay, there aren't that many questions. We can copy, and then we'll paste it here. So obviously, we have to put the question mark when there is a question, and make sure to put some space in between the questions so that the AI can understand that these are actually different questions and should be answered in different places. So let's save the changes. All right. Now let's go to the dialect scenarios. Dialect scenarios are not absolutely necessary, but it always enhances the accuracy when you do run a few dialect scenarios. We've already done it for you. So for example, let's take a look at them. So yeah, this is a default message that will pop in your widget or any other channel. We can edit it. We've shown it before already. So as a user, I just made up a question that was relevant to the FAQ, that was in the FAQ. I asked it and I answered from the FAQ, then ask another question and so on. So I've done it in two dialect scenarios. So in this particular example, again, what is Melon viewer? And there isn't any information about viewer in the FAQ. And that's why we said, sorry, we're unable to process this request because there is an instruction not go beyond that FAQ. All right, so yeah, you can paraphrase the question. So we intentionally paraphrase the questions. The FAQ said, let's take a look, tax of Melon, for instance. Yeah, what are the Melon tax, for example? This is the original question. This is how it looks like. We actually paraphrased it and we said, what are the tax of Melon? Because obviously the users won't ask only in a certain manner. They will paraphrase the question, they will ask it in a different way. And that's why we have to make sure that the AI actually understands the question and responds correctly. All right. Once we've done that, we finish the dialog so that it runs it. And then let's go to the home page. Let's go to the home page and test the chatbot. Okay, let's restart. Okay, let's start over. So this is the default question. All right. So yeah, this is the default question. Let's take a look at the FAQ. So let's ask any question. User sign up. Okay, let's ask a question. How do I sign up? Let's take a look at this one. Okay, so it gives the proper answer after invitation has been sent, but there isn't actually a question that exactly looks like this. How do I sign up? The original question in our FAQ looks like this: user sign up. It doesn't ask how do I sign up. What wearables can I connect with Melon? Let's take a look at this question. Wearables. Let's ask about wearables. What are the wearables? All right. Either Misfit or Fitbit. That's actually the answer that comes from FAQ. Yeah, we can continue, but the logic is the domain knowledge is quite an important feature because it allows to give answers and response to more complex and wide variety of tasks where the user can ask the question in a different way, and you give the instructions so that you do have a proper answer. And that's about the domain knowledge. Hello, in this tutorial we will explain the dialog scenarios. So to begin with, let's create the new dialog. And when you create the new dialog, the first default message would be just hi. You can edit it in quick replies here. Press on it, and you can put any text. And in our example, we will assume that we're having an upcoming event, a tournament this Friday, 2 p.m. And we can just write it like this: would you like to participate? And it's always easier to answer yes or no. Also, you can give some options like participate or learn more. Let's save the changes. Great. So, okay, let's renew the dialog. Yeah. So the user will say participate. And now I'd like to get some information about this participant. So let's say that I will ask, what's your gender? What's your gender? You can put any other variable if you want to. And again, let's just say whether it's male, maybe female, and send it as chatbot. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm male, and that's why I will respond like this. We can ask the email address. What is your email address? And send it as a chatbot. Okay, let me say that my email address is this. Let me send it as a user. Probably the last question would be, can I get your name and age, if that's important? And then, yeah, send it as a chatbot. The good thing about the AI is that you don't have to use exactly some specific sets of words or some order. You can paraphrase the question and still the AI will get it. Let's say that my name is Arman and I am 34. I can also say that my name is Arman and I'm 34 years old. I'm 34 years old. Okay, let's set it as a user. Now, let's finish the dialog. When you press the finish the dialog, the system starts to learn from that particular mock dialog. And let's now test it. So let's go to the home page and test your chatbot. Okay. So this is a default message that we've just set. And let's say that I'd like to participate. And for experimental reason, let me say that I'm not male, but female. Okay, what's your email address? Let me say that, let me write it like this. Okay, so the AI knows that the email address is valid or not. That's why I have to put a valid email address. Yeah, so the next question was about name and age. Let's say that I am, or let me write it differently. My name is Arman and I am 36, let's say. Okay, I have been registered for this tournament. Now, in the next tutorial, we'll explain the slots and actions and how to perform the action. In this tutorial, we'll explain slots and actions. Slots are the key variables that are collected from a user during a conversation. So just going back to our previous example with the compiling of participants list, the key slots or the key variables were gender, email address, name, and age. Let's save these slots. Now in actions, I will create the new action. Let's call it list of participants. Okay. And then in our input slots, we've already shown them as gender, email address, and name. That's why we can choose from these. They're already here. So it's gender, and then let me put another input slot, which was email address, then name, and the last one was age. If you'd like to be notified when the new responses will come in, you can tick this one. Now, the AI should not only respond, but also structure and keep the information. It has to keep it somewhere. So let's say that we will keep it in our spreadsheet. You can create the new spreadsheet or choose from one of those that were created before. I've already created the list of participants, so let me choose this one. Okay, I've saved my action and then I go back to my dialog scenarios. Now, before I perform my action, and these are the slots that I've already done, I need to make sure that the AI will learn from our mock dialog, and therefore I will transfer the answers from the user as they are. So the email address was previously given as this one. The name was given as Arman, and the age was given as 34. Let's perform an action. Okay, this message will be hidden. It won't be shown. So you would like, if you would like to to pop in the terminal message to your user as a chatbot. You can say, once you finish, you can say, thank you, thanks, your results were recorded, or any other email, any other message. All right, so let's now finish the dialogue. Okay, and let's go to our spread. Let's go to the home page and test it. So we can test the chatbot logic and see whether it has stored our slots in an appropriate manner. So let's restart again. So let's say I'd like to participate. Let's say, let's keep it just differently. Let's say that I'm female, not male. And let's put a different email address and see whether it's stored or not. Name is Anwar, and let's say my name is Anwar, and I am 30 years old. Okay, so the results were recorded, and let's go back to, let's renew the page. Let's go back to the spreadsheets. So our spreadsheet was named as list of participants. Okay, so as you can see, the new, so I've just done it. The new email address with the new data is already recorded.
In this tutorial, we'll show you how to use a different channel. So far, we have been using Web Widget. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Telegram. So for Telegram integration, you have to create a Telegram bot using a bot father and then put its API token in this section. Okay, let's now create a new bot. Go to the Telegram, go to the bot father, and then press new bot. So you have to give a name. Let's call it webapi-ai chat and then bot. Okay. You can call it same. Good. So when you create the new one, the API token can be accessed here. So you can copy and paste it. Let's save the changes. Done. Now let's go to the Telegram and let's test the new chatbot. Okay. In the template, I have chosen the reset service as we have shown before. So we're going to test this particular template. Okay, let me give the name and my phone number, which is 77. Okay. Okay, it has already sent a 4-digit SMS code, which is 88 and 99. Okay, yeah, it works on a Telegram chat as well. That's it for today.
In this tutorial, we'll look at templates. So we have created a few templates in order to make it easier for you to create your own cases. So let's take a look at order modification template. So in this case, the virtual assistant is able to check the order status or cancel the order status by ID or email address. So let's use this template. Yeah, our dialog scenario sections and domain knowledge have been rewritten and been modified according to that template. So let's start from dialog scenarios. Now, we have created 3 different dialog scenarios where you check the order status by email address, second by ID, and in the third case, the dialog scenario, you cancel the order. So the default message looks like this. You can edit it if you want to. We have shown it before. Yeah, let's say that in this case, we are checking the order by email address. So it asks for the email address. It can work both ways, but in this dialog scenario, we have specifically used the email address. And then you perform an action, and the details are presented here. Okay, let's finish the dialog. Now, if you go to the ID, it's very similar, but instead of providing the email address when you check the status, you provide the number, the order ID number. And then we have performed an action already. This is a template. Let's finish the dialog. And in the third dialog scenario, it's where the order is actually canceled. So you press the button, cancel the order. Again, it asks for either ID or email address. You provide one of them. We have performed an action, and it actually asks, are you sure to cancel the order? Okay, so the additional verification is also embedded. Yeah, we finish the dialog. Now, the most interesting thing here is slots and actions. And let's take a look at the API integration. So previously, we haven't used API. We just use some sample values. So, but when you use the API, the sample values are not actually needed. So we can raise them all because in our API, we have a bunch of data, different data. The external API URL can be pasted like this. We test the endpoint. We save that action. The similar thing we can do for canceling the order. So we cancel the order, but just make sure that we do have the URL again here. Right. And let's save this action. Okay. Let's now we have we've done the dialog scenarios, we've done the slots and actions. We can look at the domain knowledge, by the way. We have written a few instructions, quite important instructions. So if within your API database, the order is not found, it just doesn't exist, then the chatbot is asked to say, no, it's not found, okay, which is quite important. So let's take a look at the logic. Okay, so let's start over. Okay, let's get the latest order status. Okay, I'm going to use a different email address. Okay. I can also use a different ID number. For example, if I know my ID number, but people are likely to remember the emails rather than IDs. So let's use 31, for example. Okay, that's how it looks like. Now, if I'd like to cancel the order, let's cancel the order. Let's say that I'd like to cancel my order. Yeah. So yes, I'd like to cancel the order. Good. So we can also do it in a very similar way with the ID and cancel the order. Yeah, I think it should be very clear now.
In this tutorial, we'll show the template password reset. So the virtual assistant resets the password using the user's username, phone number, and by sending out the SMS code, we can reset the password. So let's use this template. Okay. In our dialog scenario, the default message looks like this. You can edit it. So the chatbot would ask for the username and phone number. We can give the username and phone number. And in our domain knowledge as an instruction, we have written that the username should be valid and the phone number should also be valid. You can give it in any order as you wish. So the provided phone number, the 4-digit SMS code would be sent out. And then you can use this SMS code to reset the password. Let's take a look at the slots and actions. The key variables here are username, phone, code, and the password. We have two actions. The first one is sending the SMS code. So let's test it now. And as a username, we can pick any. So let's say this number, this username. And the phone number should be valid, and we will be receiving the SMS code. So just make sure that the phone number is correct. Okay. Now this is the API URL. You can use your own one. Let's test the endpoint. Okay. So now we should be receiving our SMS code. And let's test the received SMS code in the reset password action. So yeah, let's use the code that we have just received. So this is us. I've just received the SMS code, which is 88 and 99. And again, using the URL of an API address, we can test the received SMS code. And this is the new password that should be sent out. Okay. Now, in our domain knowledge, as I have said before, we have written down two instructions. Just make sure that the phone number is valid and make sure that the username is also valid. Let's test the logic. Okay, let's start over. Okay. Let's use another username. Let's say that this is our username. And I'm not sending the phone number intentionally. Okay, it asks for the valid phone number. Let me use another phone number, which is also valid. All right. And now I should be receiving a 4-digit SMS code. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've just received it. Right. This is our new password that we can use. Hi there. In this template, we will show you how to build a chatbot builder that is integrated to Zendesk. Zendesk is a very well-known CRM system. For the exemplary sake, we're going to use the telecom case. Traditionally, a human operator collects and records the user queries in a Zendesk. So the AI virtual assistant's goal is to replace a human operator at this stage. From our own experience with telecom companies, the problems occur when the user's balance is negative. So as a first stage, we have to make sure that the user balance is positive and then proceed further. If not, we ask to top up the balance. So let's take a look at this particular example. So in the domain knowledge, we have provided very simple instructions to make sure that the email address is valid, phone address, and so on. And there are some tags that we're using in order to be consistent, internet and TV. So if the user uses word internet or television instead of internet or TV, the AI will get it and use internet and TV in a Zendesk system. So let's take a look at the dialog scenarios. We have created two dialog scenarios. In the first dialog scenario, this is the default message. So it allows to check the current balance, or for example, say that internet or TV doesn't work. So in the first case, the checking the current balance, it asks for the email and name, and then it checks. So in this particular case, the balance is negative, and the AI chatbot would ask to top up the balance. In the second dialog scenario, the balance is positive. So say that internet and TV doesn't work. So the chatbot would ask for the name and account, email. And although this message is hidden, but the system will make sure that the balance is positive first in order to proceed further. And then it would ask to explain briefly the problem. So for instance, the user said that the TV channel stopped working and only 10 work. And then it asks for other crucial information, such as phone number, the address with the zip code, and then it will generate a ticket. Let's take a look at the slots and actions. We have created two actions. Let's take a look at the add ticket action first. So we have created our own internal API to communicate with the Zendesk. Now, all of you will have different Zendesk usernames and tokens. So the first question would be, how do I put and where do I take my username and token? We have provided written instructions at the beginning of the template. So you just copy and paste your username and token here, and then press test endpoint. So that's going to be redirecting all those dialects and queries to your Zendesk account. Now let's try to check the logic. So let's start over. Okay, let's say that I'd like to check my current balance, and my email address is this, and my name is this. Okay, in fact, I have negative balance. So if I want to fix a problem and say that my TV doesn't work, and again provide the same email address, for instance, yeah, it will say that I have a negative balance and wouldn't allow me to proceed further. Okay, let's say that I'm another user who has a positive balance. So let's say that this is my email address and my name is this. Okay, So internally, the system knows that I have a positive balance. Otherwise, it will say that I am having this amount of debt and I have to top up the balance. So as a matter of fact, I have a positive balance, and now I have to describe my problem. Let's say that my internet doesn't work. So I intentionally didn't use word internet, but said internet. Okay, my phone number, and it will ask for other details so that the specialist, the technical specialist, may contact me afterwards. It will ask for the address, the physical address. I have to make sure that it's valid, otherwise the system will not recognize it, will not accept it. Okay, so it says that my query has been recorded, and I now go to my Zendesk. This is my account. Let me refresh the page. So if I go to my views, okay, I've just created via a chatbot builder a query. So this is the customer's name, email address, phone number, and it says my internet doesn't work. So it describes the problem. However, if you look at the text, it says internet. And also, Zendesk recognizes that it was created by the bot in this particular case. That's it. This is how you can create your own chatbot to support your clients. Hi there. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to build a chatbot builder which is integrated to Calendly. Now, most companies have different users with different backgrounds and different needs, and therefore they're willing to redirect and arrange a meeting with those different users with an appropriate and convenient specialist. So in this template, we have used two examples, two cases. The first one, let's take a look at the domain knowledge first. The first case is when the user has a developer background, such as software engineer, software architect, and other backgrounds. And by the way, the AI will get and classify and recognize and classify these backgrounds under developer background if it's not in the list. And this developer background user will be arranged a meeting with a developer background person from the company side. Otherwise, if a user has a different background, non-developer background, then from the company side, a different person would be arranged, and therefore different Calendly link will be used. So you can expand on that and use different other URLs, other Calendly links, and use more examples. Let's take a look at the dialog scenarios. Now, as I have said before, here we are using two cases in our two mock dialog scenarios. The first one is with the web developer background person, and the second one is a non-developer background person. So the default message looks like this. You can edit it if you want to. There are some slots and key variables such as name, email address, the company name, and the background. So in this particular case, web developer background is the case. So in this case, the Calendly link would look like this. And in the second case, where a non-developer is asking to arrange a meeting, for example, an accountant person, a Calendly link would be generated differently. Now, you might ask, if I have my own Calendly URL, where do I show it? You show it in the domain knowledge, and you can also show it here in this particular section. So this is Calendly URL for an accountant person, and this Calendly URL is for a web developer. So they're different. If we look at the slots and actions, and in particular, we're interested in integration part, API integration, we have created our own internal API to communicate with Calendly link. So it's a ready-to-go solution. You can use it. Now let's test the logic. Let's go to the home page and let's test it. Okay, let's start over. Let's book a consultation. Yeah, for example, just any name. gmail.com. The company name is AI Labs. Let's say that I'm a marketing specialist, marketing. Okay, this Calendly link, let's click on that. So it's a non-technical person. Marketing person is a non-technical person. So according to our logic, yeah, the Calendly link is provided for a non-technical person. Okay, let's say that I am a web architect, for example. Yeah, I'm a different person. For example, this is a default, any email address. Let's say Google. Let's say that I am a web architect. Okay, let's take a look at this Calendly link and let's check it out. Okay, this is completely different Calendly. So if we compare to this one, it's a different Calendly link. So the AI here helps you to classify that person's background, and then redirect it to an appropriate specialist.